This is why I think that's a key that picks a lock. We're going to be doing this press conference live with Anna Paulina Luna.
You liars. You're such liars. Anna Paulina, so you know not to trust her anymore. So what he goes on to say in this is that they're releasing some proof that it was the CIA that killed Kennedy. So let me say this, and I know this one is, I don't know how to say this because it's wrong, but consider this, okay? If you've seen any of my other videos, the Kennedys were not on the right side of America. The CIA back on and the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover, there's nothing wrong with him. You could say, well, he shouldn't have a right to wiretap. Look, these people were tied to fascism and communism. It goes against our interests. So I don't think it was the CIA, but if it was, I think it was. Did they know something horrible was going to happen to America? Because why did all three of these men get murdered? J. Edgar Hoover had every reason to monitor MLK. Why would he put two of his right-hand people in that are communists? And everybody knew, I mean, the Kennedys themselves said they wanted fascism. So if you're J. Edgar Hoover, all of these things would be concerning to you. And again, what the CIA and FBI has become since then, well, it's a bunch of fascists, communists, Marxists, psychopaths running it. And so the thing is that Bannon will never say, but it's the only thing that makes sense, is JFK has no excuse for why he effed up the Bay of Pigs, because Eisenhower set it all up with the CIA. And Eisenhower said to him, do it or don't. It's up to you. You're president now. But if you do it, he specifically told them you have to give air support. He told them to do it, didn't give them air support. It led to the Cuban Missile Crisis. It was a great way to then go after the CIA. The one thing that fascists and communists would want to go after is the FBI and CIA. They'd want to discredit them. That's the reason Anna Paulina and Steve Bannon are, yeah, it is, trust me. So you don't know that maybe, and again, I'm just saying, maybe these men, even though it's wrong, were taken out because there was something worse that was coming behind them. There's no proof to that, but I will tell you this. There's more of a likelihood of that than the bullshit that Bannon and the Congress and all these people are going to push. Because again, do any of these people, has Anna Paulina or anybody in the Congress ever told you about airlift to America? I mean, they should all know about it. I mean, it's been talked about. I mean, not anymore. Of course, it all has to be hidden now, because again, it's too many coincidences. It's obvious what Kennedy did. It's obvious. So the Kennedys did not have our interest at heart. But see, Steve Bannon, they all love Kennedy. Well, fascists would love Kennedy. Bannon's a fascist. He is. And I'll tell you why. I'm not just trying to throw it out there. It's the same reason the Kennedys were. The reason they support a fascist government is because, well, it's basically a dictator that's in forever. And then you can get a Catholic monarchy, basically. That's why, because all these people are also Catholic. Yep, and the Catholic Church, just like these people, don't stop. They're not going to stop until enough people call them out, and obviously that's not going to happen because we're all silenced, the real truth tellers. But the thing is that the Kennedy, I believe there's just no way that anybody, unless JFK was stupid, and I do not believe he was a stupid man. He deliberately effed up the Bay of Pigs because it gave him an excuse to start discrediting and tearing apart the CIA. You think people didn't know what he was doing? Yeah. I mean, come on, if I can figure out, like either do Bay of Pigs or don't, but don't do it and not give air support. I mean, what? That's just an idiot. And he wasn't an idiot. He did it on purpose. It's like everything he did were things that harmed America. Sorry if people don't like that. I mean, he's been put on a pedestal. He shouldn't be. So this is the road these people are going to go down. But just remember, did Steve Bannon want to tell you about airlift to America? And that's how the Kennedys helped how we got Obama Jr.? No. Because again, he comes from the same county in Ireland as the Kennedys, as Obama, because of Ann Dunham being from there. They all serve the same agenda, the same fascist agenda that really would serve the Catholic Church. See, the one thing the Catholic Church has never been able to do in this country, and this is why, it's actually why we have a separation of church and state. It's because of what was going on in England. It's because the Catholic Church, that's why they don't know Jesus. Because they were too busy trying to get into kingships. They were too busy trying to get power and control. And then they say, well, no, it's about spiritual control. No, you don't even know Jesus. Do you think that people want to follow your Satan God? No. Just because you say it's Jesus doesn't mean it is. I mean, you have to, like really follow Jesus, and you don't. But a fascist government, just like JFK wanted, just like Bannon wants, I don't care what he says, that's what these people want, will then put the Catholic Church in the rightful place and will be in a lordship over all of us. That's what it's about. That's why people had issue with Kennedy becoming president. You think those people from England didn't know that the Catholic Church, they knew the Catholic Church wasn't with Jesus. They just wanted control over everybody's country. They just wanted to be dictators. So see, that's the reason our Constitution was set up the way it was, because that way no Catholic, I mean, there's influence by the Catholic. I mean, they came in and got a bunch of influence, okay? Most people, I think, are I don't know if they still are, but whatever. They did. They came in, and that was their goal. And so when Kennedy got elected, and again, he was elected on, there's some questions there if it was legit, but it was a close race. So, but the Chicago mob says that they threw it in Illinois for Kennedy. So anyway, you have to understand that that's what their goal is. These people are all Catholic. Even the ones that, I wouldn't even trust the ones that, like Marjorie Taylor Greene was born and raised Catholic, but she goes after the Catholic Church and the Vatican all the time. Yeah, but I think she's still with them because look at how much she goes after the Jews in Israel. So it's still serving that agenda. It's just the Catholic Church knows our image is really bad. So Marjorie, head on over to the evangelical church, but start going after the Jews. That's what I think all of them serve. That's what they serve. Because the Catholic Church controls more of the world than the Jews ever have. Yeah, they do. They've made it their business. And because the European kings, the emperors, allowed all this, that's really, it's Europe, and it's the Catholic Church that controls so many countries. It's not the Jews. So they're going to lie, whatever piece of evidence Anna Paulina has. Yeah, she's another bullshit artist. That should have been an easy one to see. When they go on Rogan, I mean, except for Trump, but think about it. Rogan didn't have Trump on until, 2 days before the election. He could have, all those years could have had, he didn't want him on because, again, where does Rogan stand with fascism? I guarantee you he does. So when you see these people end up on Rogan, just realize who they are. They'll try to say, oh, we can all have differences of opinion. Just start looking into their backgrounds and you'll find they all go back to the same Nazis as before, just different faces. So, yeah, whatever this bullshit that Steve Bannon and Anna Paulina are going to put out, I call bullshit. And if the CIA did do it, well, then maybe they knew that they weren't going to let America be destroyed. by dictators.